Welcome, children. So, from the first chapter, Introduction to Object Oriented Programming Concept, as we have done many chapters now, from this chapter you will be very clear that what are different terms known as or what is the meaning of them. So, you just have to mark this object. Now, object is an identifiable entity with some characteristics and behavior. Already we have done what is an object, what is a class. So, you just have to learn the definitions from here. Now, class is a blueprint, okay, representing group of objects that share common properties and relationship. And while class is a conceptual blueprint, object is actual entity which is an instance of the class. To make you more clear about this, if suppose I say, okay, I am going to make this diagram, I said, okay, you take a paper and you make these 4 petals out of it. This is on the board. I have 5 petals out of it. Cut. This is the measurement. I give the measurement also on the board. So this measurement, now this flower is actually a blueprint. Okay. And what are you going to make? You are going to design 1, 2, 3. 3 children are going to cut this dimension and make flowers for me. So those 3 are known as objects. Okay, so objects are created using this class, that is the blueprint. Okay, so you just learn this definition. Now here they have explained you, see, just the diagram you understand. Now there is one class car. Okay, so that manufacturer is giving it color, variable and engine size. So this car is your blueprint and the manufacturer actually makes that car. So this is object 1 and this is object 2. So this is the name given, what is the manufacturer, what is the color, what is the engine size. Here also what is the name of the manufacturer, color and the engine size. Variables are given here 3. So when you create object, all objects will get the same 3 variables. I can create another car. Okay, I can create another object and give them the values. So this is how we give. This is the name of the class and this is the names of the object. Then we come to different concepts of WOP. You don't have to go into detail. Just you have to learn the definitions. First is we can do data abstraction. Okay, now abstraction or data abstraction refers to the act of representing essential features without including the background details or explanation. Now here, suppose we have car. Okay, in the car we have so many features. Suppose I want to accelerate or I want to change the gears. I just change the gear and what is happening inside that gearbox I am not able to see. So that one feature of changing the gear is an abstraction. And the same way, if I want to, let's say, I want to speed up my car, I just have to press on the accelerator and it speeds up. Now, how is this happening inside? I don't bother. Okay, so let's take another example of a stereo. I just have to play the button to get the music. But what is that play doing inside the system? I don't know. So this is abstraction. Now next come to the encapsulation, and we have done this encapsulation. It is the wrapping of the data and operations together into a single unit. Now suppose I say Maruti car, that car. Now that car is an encapsulation. Why? Because it has the structure, it has the features, the width, height, everything, and it also has the functions: speeding up, accelerating, braking, okay, halting. So these are all the features, but it is all enclosed in one word, that is car. Okay, so the wrapping up of the data, that is the features, the characteristic and the methods or the operations of that object, makes it one encapsulation. Okay, like you yourself is one encapsulation. Let's say your name is ABC. So that ABC is an encapsulation, and that encapsulation holds everything: your height, your weight, your structure, your features, and then whatever the functions you're performing. Okay, so the next function of WOP is inheritance. So mark inheritance is the capability of one class of things to inherit the capabilities or properties from another class. Okay, now see, this is one example shown here. I have one class vehicle. Now in vehicle we can have further classes: automobiles, manually pulled vehicles. Now we have car and buses here, we have cart and rickshaws here. Okay, so but this automobile is taking some features from the vehicles. This is also taking some features from the vehicle. And this car and bus is also taking some features from the vehicle. That means they are inheriting the properties of automobile. They are inheriting the properties of manually pulled vehicle. Okay, so we call this as the base class, and we call this as the subclass, and this can also be the subclass of this base class. Okay, so this is the definition. What is the base class and the subclass? Is superclass from which another class inherits property, and this is subclass which will take the property of the base class. Then comes polymorphism. Ability for a message or data to be processed in more than one form. Okay, now let's say we have this shape, okay, and we have one behavior area. So all the functions of all the different shapes is area, but naturally it is going to be calculated differently. It is going to be calculated differently. This is going to be calculated differently. But what are they going to do? You are just saying the word area, and everybody is going to do it differently, but the name or the function remains the same. So when we have different data which is processed in more than one form, we call it as polymorphism. Now further, when you go ahead in your studies in 10th class, you will understand that polymorphism also means function overloading. Okay, so this is the definition of polymorphism, and this is another one of the OOP feature of Java. Now in this advantages and disadvantages of OOP, you just have to learn these bold marks, nothing to go into detail, just learn these points. Reuse of code, you make it once and you can run it on any computer. Easy of comprehension, that is they are more near to the real world models than the programming methodologies. Then ease of fabrication and maintenance, you can just write this line and you can make it easy. Bigger program can be broken down into smaller modules, and then you can design your program. Easy redesign and extension. Classes tend to be overly generalized. Relations among classes become artificial at times. It is tricky, need to do proper planning, and then to program with OOP, programmer need proper skills as designing and the programming skills. So these are the points which, and then the last, that is let us revise. Okay, so from this chapter, all what I have told you to mark, that is what you are supposed to study, and then let us revise, you can go through it once. And here children, what is very important is the questions like what is OOP? Okay, then what are different elements of OOP? So you have just learned abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism. These are different names, and then they can ask you any one definition out of these. Then you have also gone through the definition of what is class, what is object, okay, and then you have also done what is the base class and what is a subclass. Only this understanding from this chapter is required, and I hope this is clear to you. Thank you.